Sasha Richardson is a graduate student in digital humanities from the CUNY Graduate Center. Her work is in an intersection of data science, AI, and humanities to design tools and systems that turn complex information into actionable insights. She presented the Black Knowledge Erasure Dataset, a dataset that documents how large language models such as GPT-5 or Gemini distort Black history and culture through culturally specific hallucinations. Rather than viewing these errors as random technical bugs, this project frames them as epistemic erasure, where algorithms misattribute theories, event figures, or omit key narratives in ways that mirror longstanding historical discrimination. Check out her work, links in the description box below.
Hello, my name is Sasha Richardson. I am a graduate student at the CUNY Graduate Center. I'm a first-year master's student in their digital humanities program, and today I'll be talking about my project, the Black Knowledge Erasure Dataset, or BKED, or BKED for short. It is essentially a documentation of AI hallucinations, specifically about Black American history and culture. So, especially in recent times with the proliferation of AI tools and chatbots, and students especially using these tools as de facto knowledge centers and just going there for their questions and answers, that really motivated me to kind of want to create a documentation of how unreliable these systems can in fact be. How this works essentially is I had a pool of prompts that I wrote as it relates to Black American history, and I sent these prompts to 3 models in particular. So I did Gemini, ChatGPT, as well as Claude. So I was able to collect around 282 responses in total. So to filter through those and actually identify the hallucinations, I basically cross-checked between the model responses and some gold standard archival sources. So things like the Schomburg Center at the New York Public Library, as well as the Library of Congress. So based on that verification process, like line by line, each individual response is able to identify around 101 instances of hallucination. So around 36% of all the model responses that I collected were in fact hallucinations in some form. Hallucinations aren't a new term to a lot of people. Like, you kind of know they exist, especially if you're just a lay user of these tools. You know, okay, sometimes these models make mistakes. And especially in the research realm, when it comes to evaluating these models, a lot of the times they're very number heavy or very technical in nature. And it's easy for that to kind of go over the heads of people that use these tools in the everyday life. Like, they're not very familiar with like the back end of these systems. So I wanted to create something that people could just look at, see examples of hallucinations and why they are hallucinations, especially in this area, history, where there are aspects of history that feel like they're getting taken away from certain communities. So I wanted to highlight the Black American history and culture in particular here. Why this is important, I believe, especially for educators, is that it serves as concrete evidence or as just a tool that teachers or educators can use to show people to have more critical AI literacy, right? Same with maybe like librarians. They can use it as evidence as well, or just like an archive to show how unreliable these tools can be when people are maybe contemplating using it for historical research. And it also opens up the avenue for future research questions, like looking at maybe how these patterns differ between different models. Throughout the slides that have been going on, there's been different metrics that kind of show the different types of aerotypes or hallucinations. And most of note, Gemini did perform the worst out of the 3 models. Something to keep in mind when kind of think about which chatbot you want to ask your questions to. Like here on the slide, you kind of see the number of hallucinations. Claude and GPT performed kind of the same, while Gemini noticeably performed a bit worse. That is the data that I have. It is publicly accessible on GitHub. I guess in terms of challenges, it was definitely the time commitment to individually verify each individual model response to make sure it was correct or if it was an hallucination. So a bit of time did go into that. To support this project, we'd love if there was a QR code that you could scan so that we can have your email address so that when we develop our website to have this a bit more user-friendly and accessible to everyone, you'll be the first to know and first to have access. In addition to the website that we're developing, we want to expand to Puerto Rican histories as well, because we're definitely interested in doing that comparative analysis to see, okay, it behaves this way with Black histories, but is it a noticeable difference as it pertains to other cultures, how these models behave? So yeah, that's something we're looking into.